Good evening, Cindy.
I'm back.
It looks like we already have 42 people on the call, and it looks like people are already posting stuff. So probably we should start with putting the instructions in the chat. Yes.
Yes.
And just to let you know, I have my phone here if we need to do backup communication. Can you hear me, Cindy, or can I?
I can hear you.
Unmuted. Did you know that?
No, you're not muted. I can hear you fine.
Oh, sorry. I have the volume down on my computer. That's why. Are you good? And also,
them. Okay. Hi. You need to post your question here in the Q&A and number them.
Hang on, everybody. If you can hear us, and I don't know if you can.
Once your question is posted or is answered, we will be removing you from the webinar, and you may watch the rest of the presentation of Facebook page.
Okay, and they can hear us, so everybody can hear us. So give us a second, you guys. We're typing the instructions into the chat, and then we're going to actually go live on Facebook in just a minute. So if you want to just be patient for just a second, we're just putting in the last minute instructions. I'm guessing you guys can see me too, huh? So I'm setting up, I've got all kinds of stuff going on here, and I've got files open so that I can see everybody's charts. So hang on. All right, good. Are you good, Cindy? Did you get it all?
I got it all.
Woohoo! All right, awesome. Okay, so good evening, you guys. Cindy just posted the, sorry, my kids have been sitting in my chair again, so now it tips over backwards.
This is we're on question 2.
Yeah, so start
question 3.
So yeah, so start posting your questions in numerical order. So pay attention carefully so that you make sure your question is numbered sequentially. So look at the one that's posted ahead of you. The way this is going to work is I'm going to call you out in order, and as I call you out, I'm going to make you a panelist on the webinar, which means your picture will come up. I am not going to unmute you just in the name of speed. I'm not going to unmute you. I'm just going to have your picture up, and if I need to, I'll ask you a question, but I probably will not unmute you just because it makes it go faster, and we got lots and lots of people, and I want to get through as many questions as I can tonight. I do have your charts. If you did not send me your chart before 5 p.m. today, I might have your chart if you think I've run it before, but it's possible that I don't because I have a lot of different files. We run usually anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 charts a month. So we've been doing that for a lot of years now. So I have a lot of different files for charts. So I might have your chart. I don't know what file it might be in. So I'll do my best to find it if I can, but I really want to take the questions from people who have given us their charts and who are calling in. Once I call you out and you get your question answered, I will remove you from the webinar because I want to make sure that we keep room rolling on the webinar because we can only take a certain number of people on here, and I want to make sure we get to everybody's questions. If I remove you, or when I remove you, go to Facebook. Go to the Human Design for Everyone Facebook page. Maybe, Cindy, we want to post that link on the chat too. This broadcast is going to be streaming live. It's not yet. I haven't pushed the button yet, but it's going to be streaming live there. So you can go and also watch on Facebook. We are also recording this. So if you don't want to stay for the whole 2 hours, but you want to watch it later, it will make the recording available to you. Or you can go watch it on Facebook because it'll be there as soon as we hang up or a little bit after. Anyway. All right, Cindy, are we ready to go live?
It does appear that some people are actually posting their questions in the chat. I need
It
you to
does?
post your questions actually in the Q&A.
Aha.
There's a different box on below because this is a webinar. So if you could go and post your question, I will try to
You
take
can
the questions.
copy and paste it. Yeah. So
But there's
good.
an actual Q&A box that we're going to be going through because that way Karen can answer it live.
Perfect. All right. Good. All right. Yeah. And you don't need to you don't need to raise your hands either. So. All right. So just to be clear, one more time, you will post your questions in the Q&A. Make sure you number them. When you actually, I think it's kind of going in order automatically. So post your questions in the Q&A. I will answer your question. I will click on you and answer your question. I actually don't even have to make you a panelist, do I? Because I need your.
No, you don't have to make them a panelist.
Okay. I just want to make sure that I make room for other people on the call. That's all. All right. Good. Okay. And make sure too, when you post, please post your name, because I have to go search for your chart. That's the other thing. So, all right, cool. I think we'll get started. Be patient with me because I'm sure we'll have little experiments and adventures all along the way. I always joke, I'm not a third line profile, but I play one on TV. So, all right, Cindy, I think we're ready to go live, yes?
Yes, I think we're ready to go live, and I will pin the video to the top of the Facebook page once you go live.
All right, good. Oh, a lot of questions already.
Oops.
Still loading. Hang on a sec. Okay, I think we're about ready to go.
Until we go back and forth, I might have you switch back and forth between the chat and this. We have about 10 questions in the chat. The first one actually came in on chat instead of Q&A. I don't know if they're going to get them in there, but we'll get to the back and forth between the chat and.
Okay.
We have about 10 questions in the chat. The first one actually came in on chat instead of Q&A.
You want me
I don't know if they're going to get them in there, but we'll get to the back and forth between the chat and.
All right, good evening.
We have about 10 questions in the chat. The first one actually came in on chat instead of Q&A. I do not. I don't know if they're going to get them in there, but we'll get the. Can you mute all the participants? Well, is that you that you're hearing? I'm not.
All right. Am I still broadcasting, Cindy?
Yes, you are.
Okay, good. Problem solved. All right, I have one last thing I have to do. Turn this off. Okay, I think we're ready to go. All right, so you want me to start with the chat, is that correct?
Why don't you start with Angie?
Angie.
The chat. And then we'll go do a bunch of them in Q&A and then back to chat.
Okay, so good. So if you would please post in the Q&A. So if you look down at the bottom of the screen, you'll see it says Q&A and then it also says chat. So if you would post in the chat. So for those of you who are just joining us live on Facebook, welcome. My name is Karen Curry Parker. I am going to be answering people's questions tonight about human design and business. So if you've got a business and I've got your human design chart, please feel free to hop on and post a question for us. I will do my best to get as many questions answered as I can. I'm going to be talking here tonight until 9 p.m. Central Time. So that's my goal, is to stay here until 9 p.m. Central Time. So the first question that we have, and it says, hi Karen, I know I want to do my purpose work. Oh, also, you know what? Oh yeah, okay. I want to do my purpose work, but I don't know. But I know I don't want to have to run my business like what everyone else is doing. That wears me out and I don't want to work that hard. I don't seem to be finding the passion in it. I know there has to be a different way. Anything that could guide me with my chart? Is it just having faith that the way will reveal itself? Or maybe I'm just going to be doing my passion in different ways. Thank you so much. All right. Also, just real quick, you guys, Please make sure that you also post your last name, because I have to go find your chart on in our little file here. Hang on, let me refresh this.
You do see the folder of everybody that posted their chart, right?
I do. I got it. So this is tiny. So hang on, and just so that you know, when we do share your charts, we did blot off the birth information. So, all right, Angie, I'm pulling up your chart here. Let's take a second and let's look at this. So the first thing that's really important to pay attention to is you are a projector. You are a projector who has a lot, I'm sorry, you're a manifestor, forgive me. You're a manifestor and you have a lot of energy, and you certainly have the theme of passion. But here's the thing, when you look at your chart and you see you have this 3955, this 3955 is a place where there's passion in the chart, but there's passion in this chart that seems to come, or you may experience as ebbs and flows. But I'm going to tell you, I don't think that's the biggest thing that's challenging you in this chart. You're born in 1969. You are a 6-line profile. You are coming to the end of a cycle in your life that we call in human design being on the roof. So you have been in this almost 20-year incubative cycle. That doesn't mean that you haven't been learning. That doesn't mean you haven't been growing. That doesn't mean you haven't been learning and expanding and building on your business. It means that you've been in this incubative growth cycle that's been internal. You are right at the point where you're about to have a breakthrough with your business, with your passion, with everything. But here's the piece that I want you to understand. You're here to serve as a role model. You're here to share what it is that you know and make a contribution to the world as a role model. You're here to ultimately provoke people, to bring them closer to spirit, to share your intuition, your awareness. You're an awakening force and a teacher, but you have to walk your talk. I want to very gently say to you that the theme of this chart is about you learning how to tap into abundance. And abundance for you is not about work. It's about being aligned with spirit or source. It's a very mystical chart. You are designed to be abundant. You also are designed to pace yourself, and you need cycles of rest. If you are burned out, and that's something I want you to pay attention to, and you need, because you have a defined will center, which is this red triangle here, if you're burned out, it's going to be very hard for you to find your passion. So I might gently say for you, before you leap any further or deeper into business, see if you need to pull back, rest, regenerate, recharge your battery, and wait. Because for you, you're about to have a whole shift in life cycle, a whole shift in awakening that's going to teach you even deeper levels of faith and expansion. All right. Cool, that one.
Thank you, Angie. We're going to remove you, and you can watch on the Facebook page.
Okay, good. Are you going to do that, Cindy? Is that what we we said we'd do? All right. Thank you, Angie. All right. More in the chat?
Why don't you go to the first one of the questions?
Questions. Okay, first questions is from, I'm going to assume that's pronounced we, and I apologize if I'm butchering your name. How do I stay true to myself as I have so many open centers, which seems to allow other people's to more easily get into my head? Okay, so I don't even have to look at your chart for that, but I will. Hang on. Let's see if I can find this. Oh, I'm not seeing your chart. You may have a different name, but I will just, I'll just talk because I can answer that one without a chart, actually. All right, so here's the thing. Energetically hijacked by other people's energies, by other people's opinions, for you to get your whole path sometimes knocked off course because you take in so much from the people around you. I can't see your chart, but I'm wondering if, actually, I might see if I can answer this live. So I don't know if I can do this. We're still learning this. We're having this whole new platform, and it's got a lot of buttons to push. So I don't know. I don't know if I can do this. Okay, it's done. All right, never mind. All right, so bottom line is, I'm not sure if you have an open G or not. So if you do have an open G, which is the diamond in the middle of the chart, first thing for you is make sure that for you to be aligned with yourself and your own direction in life, you've got to be in the right place geographically. That's hugely important for you. So for any of you, and that's half of you, for any of you, when you look at your chart, if your chart has a diamond in the middle that's white, you need to be in the right geographical place, because when you're in the right place, the right circumstances, the right opportunities, the right things show up. That's the first thing. The second thing is when you're in the right place, it's a lot easier for you to hold on to your direction, and it's a lot easier for you to hold on to where you're headed in your life. The third thing that I'm going to say for you is if you have a lot of openness in your chart, you really need to have alone time, because it's that alone time that allows you to get back in touch with who you are. I don't know your type, but I would certainly say if you are a generator, especially if you're a projector or a reflector, one of the other things that can help you stay aligned with yourself is you need to have good friends, even just 1 or 2 friends, or if you don't have anybody who gets you, join our human design community, all right? And you can be on our Facebook page, because we do stuff live here all the time. You can connect with other human design people. You need somebody in your life who you can dialogue with, just have a conversation with, because when you can talk to people, it helps you get clarity about who you are, where you're going. You know, you need to kind of see your stuff dumped out on the table. You don't need guidance necessarily. You're not asking for input. You're just asking for people, you're just throwing this out so you can see the conversation sort of outside of yourself and then be able to figure out what's truth and what's not for you. The other thing I'm just going to add, and this is tricky, and it's not something that you learn right away. You know, it takes time to get this. Study your human design. Either study the science of human design or just specifically really spend some time studying your chart. Openness is a blessing. We always talk about it like it's this weird curse. Oh my God, I have openness. It's terrible. I feel everything amplified and it's horrible. Openness is wisdom. Openness is where you have the capacity to really experience the richness of life and all the possibilities of what can be possible. When you have a lot of openness, it means you're here to be really, really wise about other people, and it's a gift. But it takes time to learn about your openness, to really begin to understand that this is a place where energy flows through you, not a place where you are designed to hold on to it. It's not a place where you're supposed to be responsible for what you're feeling. It's just a place where you sense other people. And for you to stay in alignment with your unique path and what's truth for you, you have to really be conscious of what you're taking in, and you will, over time, I promise you, get to a place where you'll start to go, oh, that's emotional energy in my solar plexus, or oh, that's somebody else's identity in my G, I get it. This is somebody else's fear or their sense of value. You'll start to feel, even physically and viscerally, where you're being impacted by other energies, and you'll begin to start teasing out whose it belongs to and who it doesn't. And here's a trick. The one more last thing. If you have a lot of openness in your chart, again, this is for all of you because everybody has some degree of openness in the chart. If you're feeling something doesn't feel right, or you're like, what is this? Ask the question, who does this belong to? Do I need to be responsible for this? You don't have to find the answer to those questions, but ask the questions and see what shows up. We are designed to interface with the quantum field through questioning. That is the nature of the human design chart. When you are asking a question, taps into the answer, and it will be manifested in your life when you ask the right question. So, all right, cool.
I guess Wu was Ping Wei Ho.
Oh, okay. All right, should we go to Rachel Rubenstein?
Sure.
Okay. Oops, I lost my file, of course. Hold on. We have so many things in here. There we go. Ta-da. Okay, some of these are in last name first, and some of these are different. Rachel. Well, I'm not seeing Rachel's chart. Rachel, is it perhaps under different name, maybe. All right, I'm not seeing Rachel's chart. Maybe we can see if it's somewhere else. Rachel, I'm gonna.
If you go, it's under. If you search under mange, you'll find it. It won't be clean, but it'll.
Oh, search it. Okay, reasons.
Because I saw it in charts for reading. Karen, I'm not able to eject people.
Oh, really?
Because I don't think you've made me co-host. I think I'm just a panelist.
Oh, really? Okay, let me do that.
Ooh, if you wouldn't mind, if you wouldn't mind leaving, so someone else might be able to come in.
Okay. I am having problems finding Rachel. All right. Charts for readings. Hold on. Trying a new way here. Hold on.
I've got it.
You've got. Oh, would you mind sharing it? Do you need me to make you co-host?
No, I can do it. Oh, you must see that. Can you see it now?
I can. Oh, good. Thank you. You're faster than me. All right. That works. Okay, so Rachel's question was, thank you for being patient with you guys as we work through the system here. With a chart like mine, is there any indication that I'm designed to be self-employed and have my own business? First of all, let me just say that I can look at charts and I can say, okay, here are certain tendencies towards career markers. And I would say that anybody can do anything provided you enter into it correctly. So anybody can be self-employed as long as you're entering into your self-employment correctly. And that being said, I would say I look at this chart and I think, first of all, you've got an enormous amount of energy and caring and capacity for business energetically that you bring to the table. You've got, if you look here, this channel here, the 32, the 44, the 26, all of this is about the energy for business. You've got the 3740 up in your incarnation cross right at the top of your chart. You're enthusiastic, you're focused. You've got a lot of community energy that you bring to the table. You're sensitive, you're aware, you're intense. You have the ability to fix mistakes and help people make things better. You've got the capacity to empower people. And you have an open head, open ajna, open throat, open G, and you're a projector. Which means that you're an incredible asset to a group of people. You are a person who needs people. You need alone time for sure, but you're also really, really designed to be a person who needs people. So while I would say, sure, you can have your own business, and I would also say, what I would gently suggest for you though is that you see if you can find a way or a group of people or a community that you can be with who can help tap into the gifts and skills that you bring forth, or if you have friends or a healing center or someplace where you'd like to work with other people, you might find that you get more energy in that way. That being said, you don't want to overdo it because you also need cycles of rest. Burnout is a theme in this chart, and if you're not careful, and if you're around too many people and you don't get alone time and you don't know when enough is enough, you can certainly burn out. I would say, thank you, Cindy. I would certainly say, put yourself in a situation where you're being valued for what you bring forth. Make sure you're surrounding yourself with people who really love you and take care of you and value you. The opportunities that you need will come from those connections. And I think in the end, ultimately, you might find that you have a lot more fun and you have a lot more effectiveness when you're working with a group of people. That would be what I would say. So, all right, where are we now? Cindy, did I make you co-host yet?
It does not look like it, but let's take, I'm just looking to see if we had, hopefully everybody's come on. The next one I think would be Andrea Rich.
Yes. Okay, I am now making you co-host too. Okay, done. Ta-da! Okay, Andrea says, I'm just coming into my work by finally being the producer, director of a project. People are listening and wanting to work with me. What is my best way to get funding? Aha. Okay, oops. What is my best way to get funding? to get money. I feel like I've been waiting for this time to really be in charge, as I've been distracted by emotions and relationships, have not built a resume, and even though I've done a lot, so I rely on people who see me. The more I work at what I want to create, I'm at ease and happy. I actually want to show some accomplishment now. Good, awesome, okay. So let's look for Andrea's chart.
I've got it.
Oh, okay, are you doing charts now?
Or, oops, let's make this go down. There it is.
All right, so Andrea, the best way for you to make money or to find funding, first of all, let me just say that you have the 55 in line 3 in your unconscious sun. 55 is actually called abundance in the chart. The 55 for you is in the sun, which is the most prominent position in the chart. So you have a lot of markers for abundance. But here's the thing that's so interesting about human design. I can give you a really grounded answer, and I could say, with your charismatic leadership capacities, and you have those, with your will center energy, that's the red triangle, when people are with you, they feel empowered, they feel money from you. You could ask for money from people who you know. You could go out and generate and create money, you know, by sharing your work. You've got the ability even to sell if you wanted to. You could sell yourself, sell your services, provided you're standing strong in your value. But money for you in this chart is a spiritual thing. That 55, we also say in human design that 55 is where God lives in the chart, okay? That 55 energy is about a vibrational frequency. It's the place where we tap into the frequency that allows us to create all kinds of abundant things. So I would say for you, before you go out and tap your relationships, before you go out and take leadership, before you go out and even think about transmitting or selling your services, all of which you can do and do very well, thank you very much. Before you do any of that though, I want you to really drop into a place where you feel abundant. For you, abundance is so much of an emotional energy. It's about you standing in the energy of the queen that is you, because you are the queen, you are the leader, you are here to lead others. You've got that quality in you, but you have also the possibility in this chart to hold on to old stories that keep you stuck and trapped. And those old stories will affect your vibrational alignment with spirit as source, or affect your vibrational alignment with abundance. So for you, it's an inside job first and foremost before anything else. So I'm going to suggest to you, go get John Randolph Price, The Abundance Book. That's where I would suggest that you start and work his program. Get yourself cleared out. Remember that the past does not repeat itself. Don't keep yourself stuck in old stories that don't work for you, and then get ready to move forward. So, all right. Are we still in the Q&A? Cindy?
Yes, let's continue. Okay. The next one would
It
be,
says, what should I be doing? I'm still not completely healthy. Closed my daycare business over a year ago and need a new career. Annette, I don't know if we know your last name. Is that gonna? I'll go find Annette. Am I finding Annette?
No, we'll see which one of us finds her first. I'm not sure that she sent in her. I've got
You got.
I've got two Annettes, actually, a Slater and a Matthias. Both have submitted their chart.
All right, so Annette, could you please post in the chat for just a second what your last name is?
Slater.
Slater. Okay. Da da da. Okay, now it's a race. Who's gonna get it up first? Oh wait.
I am.
All right, Annette Slater.
Oh, come on. There we go.
All right, so Annette, what should I be doing? So first of all, I am gonna say to you, you're gonna hear me say this a lot tonight. And part of the reason why I say this a lot tonight is because in the 27 years, God the math, right, that I've done coaching with people, I will tell you that hands down, the number one reason why people fail in business has nothing to do with marketing, business capital, none of the above, and everything to do with your energy level. And if you are burned out, and that usually, especially in a chart like this, because you've got the 29 conscious and unconscious, and you have a defined will center, which means you probably have pushed through burnout until you finally hit a point where you couldn't push through it anymore. Burnout puts the brakes on business development. Burnout will stop you from being successful. Burnout will push money and opportunities away because your unconscious being and your body know what you need. And sometimes you need to rest before you have the energy to move forward and do what you came here to do. And that you have the 14 in your unconscious moon. You've got a defined will center. As long as you are responding and as long as you are well rested, you absolutely could be creating money. Here's some things for you to think about. I do want you to think about the possibility of going into work as a healer. My concern with you is your energy. I really don't think I want to see you working with people yet. So here's the other piece that I might invite you to think about. Is there something that you have that you can teach or share or give to others, especially in terms of helping people take direction in their lives? You are very good at helping people take directions, at giving people directions. You're also a good healer, but I don't want you to do it if you're not ready yet. And that's my biggest concern for you is, are you ready? This is a question for you to really integrate and listen to with your sacral, and ask yourself this question over the course of a couple of days because you're emotionally defined. Are you really ready to go back to work yet? Have you rested enough? Is your body ready for you to go back to work yet? I get that you're not ready yet, even though you want to be ready. You're probably bored, but your chart is a chart that needs massive rest and restoration if you've gone too far. And if you're not ready yet, it might be too early and you might be putting yourself back in the same hole not too long from now. Okay. Janet asks, what fits my human design chart in best in terms of a business? It's VAILES. You got it, Cindy? Okay, this is working. Cool. Okay, so here we have Janet's chart. So, Janet, you are, is this cross of industry? Yep, cross of industry. Okay. You are here to set people on fire with your leadership, your charisma, your power. I don't know how old you are. Oh, 1961. Okay, you're off the roof. You're here to be a role model. I would say for you, you are here to teach and lead. You are here to help people manage and allocate and guide and use their resources in a brand new way. So I don't know exactly what you're doing in terms of leadership and teaching and sharing, but you are absolutely here to teach and transmit information and knowledge. You are a teacher, and I don't mean school teacher necessarily. You are somebody who is here to be in front of people, giving them information, period, the end. So think about what it is that you'd like to teach, what it is you'd like to teach leadership, and what it is you'd like to bring to others, because that's what you're here to do. Kathy says, I am rebuilding my psychotherapy practice and looking what is the most natural way for me to build the practice. Kathleen Hendrickson says, my little thing says, Cindy, you're going to answer this question.
I have to go look for Kathleen's chart someplace else. If we don't have their chart, did you still want, no, it says.
Did you find it?
No. I mean, do we want to come back to this one and then?
Yeah, let's come back to that one. We'll see. Kathleen, if you have your chart, maybe you could post it on Facebook or, and then BMW.
I found it.
Oh, you did? Okay, we found it. Yay. Okay, good. All right, Kathleen. Is this it?
This is it, yes.
35, 36? Kathleen? Okay, great. All right. So, with Kathleen, first of all, the thing that's going to be most exciting and most compelling for you with people is you want to teach about your experience. Whatever you end up doing comes from what you know and what you've taught and what you've experienced. I would say for you, it might do well for you. Here's a question. I know we can't dialogue, but here's a question for you, Kathleen. Do you have contacts or people who you can connect with who can host you for free talks and seminars? When people make contact with you, your sensitivity, your awareness, your intuition, and your enthusiasm are highly compelling. So if people can actually see you in action, speaking, teaching, sharing information, maybe picking some topics about in the area or the niche that you specialize in, maybe you have a particular place where you like to do, like a particular niche that you like to do with your psychotherapy. Maybe you do relationship work or money work or personal growth work or trauma work. But whatever you end up doing, if you can get yourself in front of people, it doesn't have to be large groups of people, but even if you do like a small intro conversation to 10 people, it's going to be easy for you from that place to actually convert people into clients. Speak from your experience, speak from your knowledge, and don't be afraid to share your enthusiasm. And don't be afraid to tell people how different you are from everybody else, because you are. And the knowledge that you have is quite unique. So you've got an enthusiastic way of really helping people transform the way in which they think and helping people stretch into new experiences and new opportunities for themselves, and obviously helping people let go of the past. People will tell you everything. That's the other piece, is if you can get in front of people, they're going to tell you their deepest, darkest secrets. That's just a natural thing that they can do. And with your intuitive abilities and the sensitivity that you have, you're going to be able to give them some powerful answers and really help them get some great skills to move forward. But they need to see you. They really need to be in your presence, and then they will hire you. So, all right, good. Okay, next question. This is BMW, but we don't know who BMW is, do we?
Mm-hmm.
Any luck?
A BMW. I see a Judith as.
We have Judith next. Okay, my dear BMW, if you would please post your name in the chat, then we can hopefully find your chart. I'm going to move on to Judith. Judith says, I have lost my desire to continue a business in what I was so passionate about. Do I need to do something new? Can you tell me what I should do? All right. Are you going to do Judith, or do you want me to?
Do you know which Judith it is?
I don't know which Judith it is. So, do we have more than one Judith?
I don't. I pulled out of that. Let's see. If they could post in chat, that would be.
Yeah, if for some reason you did not give us your name.
Bert Whistle?
Let's try that. Judith, is this Bert Whistle?
I don't see a chat.
Oh, the question was for Judith.
Well, do you just.
Okay. Oh, and then. All right. So, and then I think we're going to go to the Q&A next, because there's some people in the Q&A that got lost. Okay. All right. Judith, we lost you. Judith, we don't know your last name. So, and we have a couple of Judiths in here. All right. We'll keep going. Next, one new
That's
message.
her. Morgan, who's also a Bert Whistle, said that's her.
Okay. All right. Good. Okay. Okay. Good. Great. All right. Awesome.
Come on.
Dun, dun, dun. Now I forgot what the question was. Okay. Judith Bert Whistle says, da, da, da. I have lost my desire to continue the business that I'm so passionate about. Do I need to do something new? Can you tell me what I should do? Again, I'm going to very gently say you've got a defined will center. That's the red triangle, and you're a projector. And you're a projector and you've just come out of your Saturn cycle, so you're 46 and 6. So here's what happens at the end of our 50s and our early 60s, we go through a very huge energetic cycle, a Saturn cycle, that oftentimes really shakes us down to the foundation, and it really makes us seriously question, what am I doing? So I'm not surprised that you're feeling the way that you're feeling, given where you are in terms of life cycle. Again, for you, because you have the theme of burnout in your chart, and I know you guys have heard me say this over and over again, but it's really important. If you are a projector and you have a defined will center and you don't have passion or what you're doing and you're tired and you're, the question I would have for you is, are you burned out? Do you need to have a cycle of rest before you jump into something new? That's my first question. The second thing that's interesting about you, if you look at your moon, Judith, you have the 14 in line 6 in your moon. That's a really funny energy, because the 14 in line 6 kind of means that if you absolutely have to, you can pretty much make money whenever you need to. I call it the ability to pull a financial rabbit out of the hat in the 11th hour. That's the 14 in line 6, and it's in your moon. But the funny part about the 14 in line 6 is it doesn't give a hooey about money. You can make money, but it's like, meh, who cares? Money. You'd much rather do something that's meaningful. You are designed to give people direction. You have the 7 in your moon, you're a leader. You've got the 13, people tell you everything. You have the 43, 23, you're here to, through your leadership, change the way people think about things. So I certainly would say for you, and I don't know what you're doing, what your practice is or what you've been doing, but certainly I would say, do you have a book you want to write? Do you have information that you want to share? Are you teaching? Are you sharing information with other people? Is there something that you'd like to be giving back to the world that's a message, that's information, that perhaps that might be the way that you begin to make a different kind of contribution to the world? That's my thought. But first of all, make sure you're not burned out. So you're going to probably hear me say that a lot tonight, because it's so, so, so important. All right, let's jump over to the chats and see if we can catch some of these people we've missed in the chat.
Well, I've got a Judy that's a manifester posted first. How can I make my business sustainable given I do not have sustainable energy?
Okay, where was that? You pulling that one up? Did I lose you, Cindy, or are you?
I'm here, I've got it.
Okay, good.
I believe this is
where's the question on that one? Did I miss that?
And there we go.
Judy. Okay. How do I make my business sustainable? So here's the question for you, and I don't know what you do, Judy, for a living, but I certainly would say for you, if you can automate anything, that would be really helpful. I don't know if you're doing some sort of counseling or therapeutic work. I suspect from your design chart that you probably are. But I'm guessing that if there is some information that you are regularly giving to people that you can automate, that would be ideal. You also have this whole 2145 channel connecting the will to the throat. So, and you're a manifester, and you've got the 33 in your sun, and the 19, and the 1, and the 2. So it's either writing, teaching, creating some kind of a product that's automated, or
she works with clients one-on-one.
Don't do that anymore. Teaching, writing, and or training people to do what you do. That's another way for you to do this, for you to actually train people to do what you do and then have them either work for you, or you create a licensing program or a certification program, and then you create a stream of income around other people teaching your work and you just keeping those people organized, and or teach workshops or retreats for you would be something that would be really great for you to do. Teach retreats, get in, do an intensive weekend with someone or a group of people, and then take a couple of weeks off. That's what I would gently suggest would be a really great format for you. So, all right. Are we still in the Q&A, or should we go to the chat and catch some of the people in the chat that we missed?
I'm trying to find Carolyn Griffin's question.
Okay, and then so Rachel says we missed her too.
Well, where you sit, and they should just know where they see that they've done it. And Carolyn, your question was fairly far down, but I've got it in the Q&A right now. Do you want me to read it?
Okay.
Let me stop share.
Yeah.
I'll read it to
Okay.
Hi, Karen, it's Carolyn Griffin. Can you please help me navigate the next year or so? I'm feeling stuck in one big way. I have to stay here as my mother goes through her journey of dementia, but have so many ideas of the life I wish to create after she dies, including a business based on photography, portraiture, and fine art, symbolism through imagery. I also have had an idea to document her journey all the way through death through photography. Am I on track with this? I'm tired of starting things and then having the energy fall off.
Okay. Do we have our chart?
I don't know. I was reading.
I think what I'm going to have people do, just while you're looking for that, Cindy, if you have posted in the chat, a question in the chat, if you could please copy and paste it and put it in the Q&A. That way we don't lose it in the chat, and because I don't want to lose your question. So if you would please copy and paste it into the Q&A, that way we won't lose it. We never did sign our BMW person. Do we know who BMW is?
Sorry, the screen share's up. I don't know who BMW
Yeah,
is.
okay, so Carolyn, photography, totally, Carolyn. I think photography, here's a mantra for you, Carolyn. The theme of this chart is embodiment. When you look at your red square, the sacral, and you see the 2946, that's the channel on the right-hand side that goes from the red square to the yellow diamond. That is, the whole theme of this chart is embodiment. Okay, so you've got this whole consciousness around embodiment. Plus you have the 44, which is in your north node, that's part of the channel of transmission, absolutely a place where photography lives. You certainly could, if you're going to do photography, I want you to think about doing photography that transforms the way people think. I want you to think about doing photography as a path of storytelling, where you're telling about the story or the journey of being in a physical form. I want you to also potentially think about adding something auditory to it. You have a lot of auditory energy in this chart, a lot of energy that's about maybe even adding filmmaking or music, or marrying music with some of the visual stuff that you end up doing, because sound is very, very important in this chart. And for you, sound even has a capacity to be a healing quality. So you could even bring sound in, or through the stories that you tell, the information you share, bring a healing quality to what you're doing. You care a lot about people, including your family. Your family is very, very important to you. And there is a certain push me, pull you quality in this chart between what you want to do and the obligations and responsibilities you feel towards your family. I would very gently say for you, do your best to find, I'm going to give you a word, harmony, not balance, harmony. Because balance will drive you crazy. You can't do this and that in a balanced way. And it's sort of, right now you're in a cycle of seeking harmony. Definitely while you're in this journey with your mother, explore the options of what does embodiment mean for you. I have to say this, and I apologize, but I'm saying this to everyone tonight. You do have a theme of burnout in your chart, and it's difficult for you with this energy sometimes to say no. So I do want you to make sure that you're exploring the importance of saying no, and that you are saying no to the things you need to say no to, so that you can find what it is that you want to do and what it is that you want to be once your journey is changing. So, all right, good. Cool, okay.
I want to ask Jan's question, because she's in the emergency room.
What?
With her mother. She went to the emergency room with her mother, and so she asked me to post, and I can't post a Q&A.
Okay.
What is the best way for me to do business, i.e. seminars, workshops, personal service, reading, massages, or coaching, or teleseminars? I do have her chart.
Okay, hold on, we're waiting for a chart. So,
and there we are again.
okay. All right, so What is the best way for Jan to do business? Here's the thing, Jan. I mean, you certainly could do any or all of those, and I might even gently say you might be happy doing any or all of those. But you've got so much mental energy, and you've got your head and your ajna. Here, Cindy, if you don't mind, can you push that down just a little bit? When you look at the top of Jan's chart, you'll see she has a defined head, that's the yellow triangle, and a defined ajna, and it's disconnected, meaning it's floating from the rest of the chart. This is the classic design of somebody who is here to transmit and share information, or a teacher, somebody who's here to teach others. This is a way of communicating where if you have this kind of configuration, the stuff that's in your head is what we call projected. That means that people are designed or you're designed to be asked questions, and it's through the asking of questions that you're then capable of giving people the answers. Now for you, Jan, not only are you able to give people the answers, and you don't even know sometimes what you know, you just know when they ask, you're also incredibly logical by design, which means you have an enormous capacity to really break concepts down into linear constructs. So you've got all this energy for consciousness and teaching people about things like consciousness and abstract, rich, deep concepts, but then you're also capable of breaking down these abstract concepts into linear logical formats. So I would certainly say for you, you don't serve to your highest level if you're serving one-on-one. I would gently say to you, get yourself out in front of other people. You are a teacher. So any of those formats that involves you teaching is where I would like to see you. So. How are you doing, Cindy? Are you still here? Are you good?
I'm still here. So who's the next one that shows up on your Q&A? Is it Dimitri?
My Q&A. The next one's, we have BMW, and underneath it we have Demetria Manuselis.
Okay, so we still don't know who BMW is.
We don't know who BMW is. I'm so sorry. So if you are BMW, if you would please post in the chat. I can answer Demetria's question without seeing the chart. This is a great question, not just for a generator, but projectors too. The question is, where do I start if I'm a generator and I have nothing to respond to? I'm also going to add to this, where do I start if I'm a projector and I haven't been invited? The waiting is so hard, right? It's the part we hate the most. And we think sometimes that waiting means we're literally just sitting in a chair, right? You don't have to sit in a chair and just twiddle your thumbs while you're waiting. There are things that you can do to get ready for the next level of engagement with the world while you're waiting. So I would say, first and foremost, study, learn, take classes, follow anything that turns you on and delights you. So if you find something that you love, if you've got a book you're reading that turns you on, a body of information that you just can't stop learning about, follow those intuitive hunches that are directly linked to your passion, and give yourself permission while you're in the waiting cycle to follow your passion. It's amazing how when you give yourself permission to do that and stay in your joy and your passion, how the opportunities, the things to respond to, or the invitations show up according to whatever it is that you've been pursuing that you're passionate about. The second thing is, do all the stuff that doesn't require anything from anybody else while you're waiting. So you can write a book while you're waiting. You can build a website while you're waiting. You can even, set up and create digital products while you're waiting. You can, anything that you can create that doesn't involve you having to go out and push, you having to go out and coerce people, you having to go out and try to push with energy maybe that you don't have. Anything that you can do while you're waiting that lays the foundation and sets the foundation for your business, do that. That's what you should be doing while you're waiting. The next opportunities and all the stuff will show up. As a generator, this is the thing, and this is the difference between the generator and the projector process. As a generator, you won't be waiting as long as the projector will, usually. That's not meant as a death knell to the projector. It means the projector gets bigger opportunities. For a generator, because you're responding to all the little pieces that life throws at you, you're going to find little things along the way to go, and respond to and get into that flow of creativity. The projectors, you got to be tending to your passion, following your bliss and your joy, trusting your intuition, and then sitting put in that integrated place and waiting for the right invitation. And while you're sitting there, projectors especially, deepen your own sense of value. You are precious. There are people who are waiting for you, who are looking for you. Stay put so they can find you. And while you're waiting, do your inner work so that you are deeply settled in that place of value, and that you can hold that place of value and serve as the king and queen who you are designed to be. So don't wait for anybody. I mean, don't do the things that you need to wait for people on. Go ahead and get started on the things you can do on your own. Stay in your joy, visualize, keep your energy high, follow your passion, write, do your website, make your business cards, go take classes, study, learn, all of the things you can do while you're waiting. Good. Okay, next question. Yes? Lala says, this is Ellen LeBoeuf. My one question is, I've been stuck in business and seem to be blocked from earning, receiving, and having money. Do you see this changing for me? There's really nothing that I'm passionate about doing, and I don't know why. Okay.
The chart should be up.
Got it. So first of all, Ellen, 2-4. And your cut runs into, okay. So first of all, Ellen, as I've been saying all night long, are you burned out? It sounds like you might be. And I might gently suggest that taking care of the burnout first is the most important thing for you to do that will get you unstuck. The second thing for you is you're an unconscious fourth line profile, and all of your money energy is about, it comes in through the definition that is about energy, tribal energy. So, except for the 2551. So here's a question that I have for you, Ellen. Are you somehow sacrificing yourself or giving up of what you need for yourself for the sake of others around your money and around your value? You have the perfect design for somebody who's going to give everything away, who's going to feel guilty asking for anything of value for yourself, and who's going to have a tendency to devalue what you need and want for the sake of other people. You have the 27 conscious in your, it's in your north node. So it's the classic combination or a classic configuration for feeling guilty or being guilty about money. So we're still in this full moon energy tonight. So one of the things I want you to do tonight while we're still like in this, coming out of this full moon thing, is I want you to ask yourself or your guidance team or your inner wisdom or the quantum field, whatever you want to call it. I want you to ask the following question, and you don't have to answer it. Let the answer come to you. What needs to be healed, released, aligned, and brought to my awareness for me to allow myself to be fully immersed in the flow of abundance? What needs to be aligned, released, healed, and brought to my awareness for me to see the value of who I am and the services I provide, and to allow myself to receive in accordance with that value? Those are the two questions that I want you to think about while we're in this full moon energy. I also want you to think about, and this is a weird thing, but roll with me. Are there any vows, unconscious energetic vows of poverty or martyrdom that you need to rescind? Because sometimes, particularly when we come into the planet as light workers and we bring light worker energy with us, there is a tendency for us to bring with us a collective, an old collective consciousness around money is bad. We need to sacrifice ourselves for our service and the service that we bring to others. And I want to very lovingly and gently say to you, the age of martyrdom is over. We cannot serve from a place of martyrdom. So it may not be overt and totally right out there, but I want you to really think about, is there perhaps, and you don't have to think about it, just ask yourself, Are there any vows I need to rescind around poverty and martyrdom? Old energies that need to go, but a lot of light workers carry. That would be my other piece. And I would gently say for you, you might really benefit to learn to take a sales class, to really learn the psychology, and actually to learn about the love of selling, the importance of creating and generating revenue correctly so that your selling becomes a collaborative process that you're engaging with. So find somebody who you really trust, who can teach you how to sell in a way that feels good to you, that feels like love to you, because sales is love. When you look at the chart and where sales, the energy for sales is in the chart, it's all about transforming people's sense of value and giving them value so that they can transform their direction in life. And for you to do is to learn how to do really healthy sales conversations might really help you a lot. All right.
So Karen, we're at our, well, you've been 30 minutes and you're doing about 2 minutes. So just so you know, we still have like 97 questions, although some of them are they're posting their questions. The next one is Denise. Well, what do you show as the next one?
I have Denise, 6'2" projectors. What is my strength in business? I don't know which Denise it is. Do you? Is there?
Denise, well, I don't have a chart for a person named Denise in the ones that were submitted by email on time. So what we would need is, oh, right. Okay, she posted REI. Okay. I will try.
I think I know who Denise is.
Okay. Sharing screen.
Okay.
Ah, there we go again.
There you go. I knew that was you, Denise. Okay. So Denise, your strength in business is your capacity to know what is truly inspiring, your intuition about what is truly inspiring, and to share with people or to unify people around information that helps them become more empowered and more conscious. So you are either going to be teaching or sharing intuitively, or you're going to be bringing people together around ideas that wake up people in consciousness and help them transform their direction, their sense of self, and to empower themselves. How's that? That's quick and easy. How was that? Next one is Janet Vales, VALLES. What fits my human design chart the best in terms of business? All right, while Cindy's looking for that, let me just say something. There are things in a chart that can make some aspects of business easier than others, but I will tell you this. Anybody can do anything. Any type, any design can do anything, provided you enter into it correctly, okay? So you have to enter into it correctly. Did we already do this one?
I think this might be our second question. So you could.
Yeah, I think we already did Janet's chart actually.
So Janet, but it still goes with everyone. You know, as long as you enter.
Enter into it correctly according to your human design type. So if you're a generator, respond. If you're a projector, be invited. If you're a manifestor, honor your own internal creative flow. If you're a reflector, take your time before you jump into it. You've got to follow your strategy and it will bring you to the right work. And it's going to be whatever feels good and juicy to you and shows up correctly. So sometimes people want to look at their chart and they're like, well, should I be a fireman? Should I be, a nurse? Should I be It's not like that in human design. It's about your decision-making strategy. So go for what turns you on, what shows up, what feels right, and enter into it correctly. Here's the thing, if you do that, sometimes what you end up doing is surprising. It's not what you thought you should be doing all along in your head. Sometimes it's not even what your chart says, theoretically. The universe is way smarter than us, so let the universe show you the path. So, all right, Jill says, assuming I'm even designed to have my own business, what do I have to offer that would be of service to this beautiful planet? This is a beautiful planet, isn't it? I have lots of interests, but I don't seem to have any staying power to fully invest myself. So, okay, first of all, Jill, you have the 16 in your sun. You're enthusiastic. And you do have a lot of energy for a business. If you look at your chart, you have the 54-32, so you've got ambition, you've got the 44, you've got the ability to sell, you've got the 45, the ability to take leadership with your business. I'm going to say for you, because I know I've said this a lot tonight too, but teaching is a great thing for you to do. Synthesizing everything that you know is a great thing for you to do. And I might gently suggest for you, instead of getting up in your head and trying to figure this out, with that 15-5, that's the channel that connects the red square to your yellow diamond, you are so designed to be in the flow. And you're sensitive, you're intuitive, you're aware. Be in the flow of what shows up. You certainly have a deep connection with nature. You certainly have a deep connection with animals. You certainly have the capacity to even be a channel if you want. You have the capacity to share information with other people. But you also have the ability to sell. So I would say go with the flow and stop locking yourself into the idea that there's like one thing that you have to be doing. Let yourself be placed where you need to place to serve at the highest level. That's kind of what I would say for you. And then if you really, really need to stick yourself into something, go into business doing some kind of herbal work or some kind of animal communication work. Those would be the two things that I would say would be really ideal for you. All right. Teresa M. Boyle, she says, hi, my name is Teresa. My question is, a friend who has a business needs a go-getter to get funding for his .com business and then back me in my own in the future. Is this something, according to my chart, a good thing to do? Okay, do we have Teresa's chart?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not at all. That was because I don't see it at Teresa Boyle.
Oh, okay.
In our charts at all. Unless she has a different last name. I don't see it. So I'm sorry, without your chart, you really can't answer that question.
I'm good, but I'm not that good. So, all right. Okay, going on. Next one, Valdas. What is the best type of business/career path that is suitable for me? Same question. All right, let's look at Valdas.
Again, we don't have that chart.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
I'm not, unless their name is something else.
So if you send us your chart under a different name, if you would just put it in the chat so we can find it later. So Terry Inokuma asks, that one? I have a business of creating and selling my art, and I also do art as therapy sessions in person in my local hospital. I feel conflicted about how to step into myself more. How is being seen in a larger way to my highest and best according to my design? Wow, powerful chart. So first of all, Sherry, you are absolutely designed to give people leadership. You're designed to lead people and give them information. And you are a hugely impactful person with the way in which you lead. You transform the way people think. You transform the way people perceive themselves. You transform the way they experience their physical form in their body. You help them define and create new stories about who they perceive themselves to be. I would certainly say for you, I'm trying to find your question back. Did it already go? How to step into a bigger vision for yourself. I don't see the age on here. Do you know how old Terry is? I don't see the year she was born. Or I should make a
I don't
assumption.
think you can. I think this is the way the chart might have come.
Okay.
It's not a year.
All right. So here's what I'm going to say for you. You have the 55 in Mercury. You have the 8 in Mercury. You are here to communicate to people, or the contribution you're here to make to people. Oh, 68. Good. Okay, Terry, you're just now stepping into it. All right. I would say for you, be patient, because you are just about to go through a life cycle where you're going to step into a bigger expression of yourself. But I'm going to say for you, with the 55 at Mercury, you have got to get really, really solid in your own inner sense of your connection to source. Again, money for you is twofold. Number one, it's your spiritual vibration. Number two, for you, it's responding. You're not really designed to have struggles with money. That's not really the thing in this chart. You're really more designed, you're not really designed to have any struggles. I mean, you're designed to be successful doing something unusual. I'm going to say for you, just keep your mindset clear. Don't buy into stories that tell you that you don't know enough. Don't be afraid of the future. Don't be afraid of failing. Line up with your value, and you've got this. It's a powerful, powerful chart. So, all right, good. Okay, we did Valdez's Andrulis Valdez. Do we have that? Did you see that down there?
I'm looking.
Okay, good.
No, we still don't have Valdez's chart.
All right.
They emailed it, and they would have had to get the email in before 5 o'clock Central Time, or even 5. I think we did through 5:30, but we don't. I'm not showing the chart in.
All right.
Sorry, Valdez.
Sorry about this. All right, next question. Kim Stanuk asks, being new, my question is basic. You have said business is tribal. As you can see from my chart, I am not. Due to that and anything else you see in my chart, what should my approach to starting a business be? Okay, let me just say, first of all, here's something we say a lot in human design, and it's a vocabulary thing. We say, I don't have this and I don't have that. We have all of the chart. You all have all of the chart. So even though you may not have a lot of quote-unquote tribal energy, you still have energy for, you still have tribal energy. It's just not colored in or consistent in your design. That means that you absolutely can do business. That means that you have a lot of variability in how you do business. That means that you can totally do business. You're a manifesting generator. You have perfected form in your chart. You are here as an individual to transform others. That does mean that for you, you may not, the business that you end up doing might not always be for everyone. You might have an unusual business. You might have a business that wakes people up. You might have a business that is somewhat shocking to other people. You might have a business that people don't always get, but there are people who are ready for you and your business. There are people who are ready for the extreme awakening process that you bring to others. You are naturally gifted at helping people break down their patterns, and through the breaking down of their patterns, be able to realign themselves with a new direction in life, to transform who they perceive themselves to be, and to usher them into their own evolution, the evolution of who they think they are, the evolution of who they are becoming. So I don't know what you do, but I would say you absolutely can do business, Kim. Just be mindful that not everybody's going to get it, and you need to look for those people who are your clients. So hang on just a second. I'm going to take a 2-second break. I'm not going anywhere, Cindy. Just hold on a second. I don't know if you all caught that video this week of this British consultant being interviewed on TV and his children came running in the back. We are about to have that same experience. So I'm just telling you that there's going to be an 8-year-old or almost 8-year-old who's going to be crawling onto the floor in my office and sleeping on the floor. So, all right.
Karen, I have Valdez's chart.
Oh, yay. All right. Let's see if we can find the question. Valdez says, what's the best type of business/career path that is suitable for me according to my body graph? All right. So you are here to change the way people think about things. You are here to give people new answers and to help them create revolutions in the way in which they think. You are a storyteller and you are a teacher by design. So I would say for you, it's about sharing and transmitting all that brilliant wisdom that you have in that brilliant mind of yours and giving it to other people so that you can help them change the way in which they think about themselves and how they perceive themselves and change the way they think in general, period, the end. So, good. Hopefully that helps. So coaching, counseling, teaching, anything that helps people really shift their mindset.
Are you on Teresa next?
Teresa Boyle. Hi, my name is Teresa, and my question is a friend who, wait, I think we tried that one and we didn't find that, did we?
Not finding Teresa M. Boyle. So Kim, or is the next one Kim?
Kim, yes, Kim Stanek. No, we already did that one too. So yeah, so let's remove Teresa from the list. Let's remove Kim from the list. And Sachin is the next one. Sachin. So Sachin writes, I have been struggling with finding my life purpose and constantly deriving my mission in life. Are there any clues in my chart about my life purpose and whether I will have my own business someday? All right, good. All right, good.
I don't have a last, I do have a Sachin. I don't have, yep, I have that chart.
Yay, all right, good. Wow, what is with all the centering circuit people tonight? So it's interesting. You know what I love about this is that every time we have these calls, even though it's hard to explain, I see such patterns in the people who are attracted to these calls. All right, so first of all, you are a 6-line profile born in 1973. The one thing I want to gently say to you, Sachin, is that you're not quite ready yet. You're still in a cycle of integration and learning. You are what we call on the roof in human design, which means once you get closer to that 48 to 52 age range and you're probably starting to really feel the momentum, it's going to start to feel more and more like a sense of urgency is pushing upon you to do something. You are not failing your mission. You are exactly where you need to be. Don't panic and don't feel like you're getting it wrong or you're screwing it up. You're not. You're exactly where you need to be. The thing that's really notable about this chart, if you look at the left-hand side of your chart, your spleen, which is the brown square on the left, is exceptionally well defined. You have almost every gate in the spleen defined, and the one that you have white, you have the electromagnetic on the other side. The spleen is the center for fear sometimes. It's instinct, but it's fear. And actually, I have a whole Lunch and Learn program. If you go to the understandinghumandesign.com Lunch and Learn section on the website, there's a recording there called The Fear Gates of the Spleen. It is easy when you have this kind of a configuration for you to get stuck or paralyzed because you're afraid that you don't know enough, you're not ready yet, you need more training, you need more experience. You're going to fail if you try this, that you're afraid of the future. You're not afraid of the past. That's not on there, thank God. So there's a lot of potential for you to get stuck in these fears. The thing about these fears that I want you to be mindful of is they are designed for you to push through. Even if you're afraid, you need to push through them, because it's the pushing through of these fears that'll get you to the other side. And even though it might feel like you're white knuckling it through, once you get to the other side, you'll be done with it, and you won't be stuck with it anymore. And it'll actually help you have a breakthrough. So don't let fear hold you back. That's huge. In terms of career and career direction, I would certainly say for you, anything that involves sound, music, the use of the voice. I don't know if you sing or if you're in some way using your voice, but you have a lot of markers for somebody who has the capacity to use your voice for healing. You are ultimately going to discover the closer you get to this 50-year maturing point in your chart, that you are here to wake people up, that you are going to wake people up in some way, shape, or form to the truth of who they are. And I look at this and I think you're going to be a guide to people to help them bust through fear. You're going to wake them up to new possibilities. That's my thought anyway. So I hope that helped. So let's see what's next. Christy Sharafinsky says, I know I'm supposed to wait to respond, but I find I overthink and second guess this and get my panties tied in a knot about it all. So my question is, how can I align with my strategy and maintain my sanity? What a great question. I love that. All right, do we have her chart? So Christy, so first thing for you, if you feel like you're struggling to find your direction, you have an open G. So first and foremost, to keep yourself sane, I might gently suggest that you make sure that your physical, geographical environment feels great, feels good to you, feels, like it's comfortable and it feels like home. That's the first piece. The second thing I would say for you is that you have a lot of energy about caring for your family, caring for others. It's in direct contrast to your desire to do your own thing. So you might feel like you've got that classic, I want to do my own thing, but I can't because of my family thing going on. The third thing for you is that you're incredibly intuitive. You're a cross of penetration. You're here to, with your intuitive awareness, share what you know with others. Okay? You have an incredibly powerful mind. I might gently suggest, let's look at the configuration of your mind. You have the green triangle connected to the throat with all three channels. You have a completely open head center, which means you're under tremendous mental pressure. And that mental pressure is putting pressure on you to try to figure out how. The biggest challenge in this chart is not about business. It's about you giving up the need to know how and moving in faith, learning to master the faith that the answer is going to show up, and it's not going to be anything that you have to figure out. So I want for you, here's your new mantra, Christy. You ready? Let go and let the magic take over. That's your mantra. I want you to just go with that and don't make it complicated. Let go and let the magic take over. Period. The end. So good. All right, next question. Kathy says, how can I focus my business on my happy personality and prevent it from suffering like my paralysis points? Okay, let's see if we can find Kathy.
I don't know what Kathy that is.
Oh, Kathy, sorry. Kathy, do you mind posting your last name down at the bottom of the chat if we can find you?
Because we have Kathy Stamp. Oh, there it is.
Yes. Dun, dun, dun. That's it.
Keep popping up there.
Okay. So Kathy says, focus my business on my happy personality and prevent it from suffering like my paralysis points. So I don't know what you do for a living, Kathy, but here we go. We've got our second theme here is everybody's cross of penetration. So I would certainly say for you that you are a psychic whiz kid. So I don't know if you're working in the intuitive realm. You've got the 46.
She's a writer.
She's a writer?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Cool. And I don't know, are you suffering in your paralysis points? I'm just looking at this chart, I'm thinking, here's how I want you to bust through your paralysis points. For you, the mantra is feel the fear and do it anyway, and trust your gut. You are a psychic machine. So I would say for you,
the dollars are the paralysis point.
The dollars are the paralysis point. Okay, that point I got. All right. So the dollars are the paralysis point. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Number one, make sure you're standing in your value, because the value point in this chart is vulnerable. It's easy for you to question your value or to try to gauge your value based on what other people think. It's also easy for you to compromise the direction that you know in your gut is right, because you either A, overthink it, or B, you're listening to other people, or C, you're trying to please others. So stop trying to please people. I might say for you, here's what I want to tell you. I want you to get ridiculously crazy naked with yourself about what do you really want to write and share. I would say for you, the more authentic you get with your writing, the more radically authentic you get with your writing, the more ridiculously honest you are about sharing every part of your truth in your writing. And that means be sensual, be powerful, be intuitive. The more you do that, the more I think you'll be able to sell and transmit. Don't water down anything about yourself. And then when you go into selling, whether, I don't know if you have an agent, you might probably benefit from having an agent, just to kind of give you that, you have somebody else represent you so that they can stand in the value for you. But I would certainly say if you don't have an agent, for you closing the sale, you're designed to close the sale, but you have to stand in the value of it first. So, all right, cool. Jaylee, Jylly, yeah? Manifestor 3-5. How do I best manifest in my energy healing business? I'm struggling getting it going. Are we making sense on that one? Are you finding that one? This is Jill, hurry up. Okay, so Jill says, I'm in 3-5 manifestor. How do I best manifest in my energy healing business? I'm struggling getting it going. All right, so first of all, for you, you have your cross of contagion, and you have the 12-22, and you've got the 12 in the moon and the 22 in your north node. You're moving in, you're into that now. And you got the Saturn in your 14. Okay, sweetheart, here's what I want you to do. I want you to, first of all, I want you especially to create products or information products that you can sell and automate. I would imagine that in your healing business, you have a philosophy or a core principle around which you operate. You have probably maybe studied from other people, but you've probably also mutated what you've learned and you've kind of come up with your own thing. I want you to really make sure that you're staying true to your teaching of your own thing. I want you to be aware that you are here to teach and share information. I want you to think about sharing information either as part of your job, go in, see, notice you've got that defined head and ajna floating thing going on. I want you to create products that you can sell in an automated way. That's what I really want you to do, so that you're able to honor the emotional cycles and your need for rest. As a manifestor who's coming up on 50, your energy needs to be guarded and protected and cherished more than anything in the world. You do have a little bit of a potential, if you're pushing too hard, too fast, trying to transmit and exhausting yourself, with that 29 that you've got, you could potentially kind of physically wear your own self out. So take what you're learning, take what you know, take what you do and find a way to automate it. It's so important for you. Or teach, get in, teach once a month, and then get out and rest in between. That's crucial for you. And don't let guilt keep you from holding good boundaries about taking care of yourself first. All right. Okay. Catherine says, I am a manifestor 6-1. The projector is behind me. I'm a manifestor 6-1, and I'm looking to consolidate my 30 years of teaching out of direct service and into mentoring coaching. I would like some guidance on focusing my workshops. I'm passionate about many topics related to children, particularly how education has gotten completely away from understanding developmental growth in men, sister, and how we need to clearly understand how children's lives affect their ability to be in school learning day in and day out. Trauma, divorce, poor diet, overstimulated with electronics, no recess, etc. Write a book first, then go out and speak or start speaking. Okay, do we have, this is the other Catherine, I think.
The other Catherine.
I think we had two Catherines, right? One was Stamps, so it's the other one.
Well, I have a Katharina Hengel, and I have a Kathy Goodwin, or Kathy Smith.
Catherine, we don't know your last name. Can you post it in the chat?
I will look and see if I see a 6-1 manifestor.
Also, if you posted your question in the chat and you think I haven't seen it or I haven't answered it or I'm not seeing it, please copy and paste it into the Q&A section on the Zoom platform. So if you could put it in the Q&A. Oh, Catherine O'Keefe.
Which we don't have her, I don't think she posted her chart or sent her chart. Search.
All right, so I will answer this though, Catherine, without even looking at your chart. I'm going to tell you, don't wait to write the book to go speak. It's a big mistake people make a lot of times. They think, oh, I have to have my book first and then go speak. You can absolutely build your platform without your book. You can also write your book as fast as possible by speaking it out loud and recording it, or having talks that you give transcribed and make it into like mini books in the beginning. Oh, did we find a chart? Catherine O'Keefe, dun dun dun, okay. Yes, so you are a speaker, sweetheart. You are here to shock people and wake them up with the truth. That's your job, Catherine. So get to work. Go speak, but don't wait to write your book. Write your book while you're speaking. I'm not going to change what I just said. So do both. Absolutely do both. But for you, you've got to get out there and speak as quickly as possible. That's your gift. That's your strength. You have a natural ability to share with people and give people new ideas and new possibilities about what else is possible. So do it, and do it fast, because we need you. So good. Okay, Valencia, I want to see your new chart. Valencia has a new chart. So she wants to see, how do my new gates in the Earth and Moon translate to my business within the context of a new profile as a 4-6? Wow, okay, awesome. That makes sense. I could see that.
Oh, come on.
Do we have the...
I'm going to stop sharing and find Valencia's chart. I'm not.
Is it not coming up? Do we need to push start share again?
I'm not seeing.
Is it coming up?
It's not coming up in the ones that were posted for.
Well, Valencia, if we don't find your chart, I will answer that question privately. I want you to get that question answered. So I certainly would say that as a
4-6 chart, so I'm not sure. I think that we had some problems with some of our charts getting brought back up.
So just going with what's in front here, I'm just looking at the gates here, Valencia. If your earth gate is in the 2 and the 7, I'm going to assume that that's actually your unconscious maybe, because your sun would also change if your earth changed. So I'm thinking your unconscious change or your conscious change. But the 2 and the 7 are all about giving people direction. The 17 and the 16 in the moon means that you are enthusiastically driven to share with people new possibilities. And as a 4-6, you're here to teach and share and give information as a role model in the world. So it's not going to necessarily change that much, except that it takes away that whole karmic thing, thank God. But it means that you've got to be walking your talk. And I don't remember how old you are, Valencia, but 48 to 52 is a big wake-up time in the chart. And what happens at that age range is everything changes, everything wakes up, opportunities pop, things shift and change. Sometimes life goes down to the foundation and it's a powerful cycle of rebuilding, but you are here to serve the world as a role model. So hopefully that will help. And if that doesn't help, we can talk some more about it. I will make sure that we create some time to talk about changes in the chart. Next one is Marina Soto. Marina says, based on my chart, what should my spiritual path be in this lifetime? Okay, we can do that one.
Any screens.
So, okay, dun, dun, dun. Marina, your spiritual path. Well, I would certainly say your spiritual path is devotion, meaning you have a lot of energy in this chart for love and nurturing, caring, taking care of, feeding, cooking. This is a lot of similar energy that Mother Teresa had. So you definitely have this drive to empower others to make a contribution to humanity, to wake people up to new ideas and understandings of what it means to be abundant. You are here to transform the way people think and to give them revolutionary answers. So I would certainly say your spiritual path is about waking people up, changing the way in which they think, changing the answers that they embrace so that they can create for themselves a different definition of what it means to be loved, to feel loved, to experience love, and to be abundant in every way. So you're a love teacher. And you've got the 55 in Saturn. You know, Saturn is the great teacher, and 55 is all about, you know, this gets complicated, and I can't talk about this without giving it the background information, but here's what I'm going to say for you. We're in the midst of an evolution, and we're moving towards becoming quantum beings, meaning we are moving towards being able to have more and more conscious awareness of how to tap into the quantum field to create from a place of sustenance and well-being in a sustainable way. You are here to teach people how to be sustainable and how to be sufficient. And part of what I'm going to say, I look at this chart and I think you're here to teach people new ways of eating, new ways of being together, new ways of creating community, new ways of coming together around a table. And you're here to teach love, period, end. So manifesting and love, that's what you're here to teach. So that's your spiritual path. All right. Next, I hope that helps, Marina. Next question, Liz. A 4-6 manifesting generator here, and I'm definitely on the roof right now. In my chart, all of the business channels and gates are open, so how will it impact me being on the roof and not having that consistent business energy in my chart? Is there some model of business that would be better for me? Partnership, solopreneur, coach, etc. Okay, so Liz Norris. Wow, look at that. Okay. So you're a manifesting generator. You absolutely can be a solopreneur. You know, you're absolutely designed to use language to empower others. So I would say putting yourself in a position where you share from the heart of who you are as a teacher, as somebody who's here to shift and change consciousness. Absolutely. I mean, solopreneur is a great opportunity for you. The only trick is when you're a 4-6 on the roof and you go into business for yourself, it's hard to keep up with the nanny everyday management stuff of business. It's very easy for you to do the stuff you love, to get out there to teach and to serve, but really hard for you to do things like answer emails, do your accounting, do all the things that you need to do to keep your business going. So I certainly would say for you, delegate the stuff you hate to do or that you know you're not doing that you should be doing, answering the phones, answering emails, even posting on Facebook. Get somebody else to do that stuff, and you streamline your energy and your participation in your business so that you're not doing stuff you don't want to be doing. So, all right, next question. Molly Leon said, and Cindy, at some point, I want to just quickly scroll through the chat, not the Q&A, and make sure that all the people who posted early moved their questions over and they get their questions answered. If they've been hanging around in the beginning of the call and they didn't get their question answered, I want to make sure we kind of move them up. So Molly says, I often feel like it's very difficult for me to commit to a steady job, not necessarily because of my non-sustainable energy types, but sometimes because of that too. But because a job will intuitively feel right one day and then not the next. People are so fed up with me and think I'm just really mentally unstable because they keep quitting things. I've heard that reflectors are the ones who typically function this way. So what's going on since I'm a projector? All right, so first of all, let me just say that as a projector, you could still act like a reflector. Your connection to your G center has an unconscious component, so even though you are a reflector, you might feel like a projector. Even though you're a projector, you might feel to yourself like a reflector. You are young, and you're incredibly open and incredibly sensitive. You have the gate 19, which is the most sensitive gate in the chart in the sun, the most prominent position in the chart. It is so easy for you to feel and sense and experience everybody else's energy and to really have a difficult time teasing out your energy. So I'm going to tell you 2 things. Number 1, I want you to find a friend or somebody who you trust, who you can have as your buddy. So anytime you start to make a decision in life, whether it's job or anything, you can go talk to them about your decision. You need time, even though you're not emotionally defined. In your case, I'm going to tell you, you need time to sit down with somebody and to feel your way through a decision, because you've got a ton of stuff you've got to tease out of your own energy field to make sure that you're aligned with yourself. So you need somebody who you can talk to who's just going to listen to you. You don't need guidance. You don't need somebody to correct you. You don't need anybody to give you the answers. But you do need a place where you can just dump all your stuff and see it out on the table and then kind of project it back to yourself. Number 2, you have rationalization in your sun. Be mindful of not rationalizing your choices because you're under pressure to make a decision quickly. Okay, that's really, really important for you. With that 19 and then rationalization, sometimes you might find that you're really pushing yourself to keep other people happy with your choices. Make sure that you're doing what's right for you. And I think for you, honestly, even though technically in human design, we would never say, oh, technically in human design, we would look at your chart and go, yep, that's it. You need to make decisions in the moment. I don't want you making decisions in the moment. I want you to give yourself time away from the decision outside to let your energy field decompress, talk to people about it. And you're extreme. You're extreme by design. You're going to do extreme experimenting as a 3rd line profile at this stage in your life. It's going to change. You're in the South Node phase of your life. You're still in that 15 energy. It's going to change as you mature. Be gentle with yourself. Be forgiving with yourself. And just let it be what it is right now. It's going to get better. All right.
Okay, so Karen, there are people posting in chats, and I just want them to know that although it might look like you posted, I think everybody posted their question right when the class started. I don't think that and I think the questions are actually coming up in Q&A the way they were received in Zoom. So it could be how fast you're, because I have seen, there was just one person I did not see his question, and that was Ephrat. Oh, there's someone behind you.
Oh, behind me? Yes. I'm being managed from the floor.
The projector is behind you. So we have 101 questions. I've been going through, and I know there are some people that have posted multiple times in there. But I would go, since I hadn't seen Ephrat's question, and he said, my question is about right timing and momentum.
Okay.
It's in chat. I have an online business. About 2 weeks ago, I asked a question in my mind. I wonder what will be the best way for me to market one of my own products. Is it through Facebook or whether through my mailing list? The same day, I received a clear answer twice to market through writing an email to my mailing list. But I did not act on it because I didn't feel what will be the right thing to write, and since then 2 weeks have passed. So my question is, after some time passed from receiving the answer, can I still carry it out and expect good results? Or is there a momentum or a time frame that I had to act on? Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
You're welcome. And I think we're talking on Thursday, at least here this time. Okay, Ephrat. So I don't have your chart up, but I don't need your chart for this one. And I'm going to give you guys an answer that you might not like, but roll with me on this one. Sometimes you just have to do it when you do it. So what? 2 weeks passed. Send it out and see what happens. That's what I'm going to tell you to do. Oh, you have that too. Oh, you have the 3536. Send it now. You're emotionally defined. If you get it, you need to percolate and feel your way into your choice. So it's, you're not designed to do it spontaneously anyway. So try it, see what happens. You've got you're experimental by nature. Do it and see what happens. Sometimes I think when we get into human design, and I really could get in trouble for this, I think. Sometimes we think all the answers are going to be in human design, and sometimes your intuition and your gut, or just your knowingness, is louder than your human design strategy. Not often. I'm not saying go crazy wacko and ignore your strategy, but every once in a while, you just get that, this is correct, especially if you have an internal creative flow. Or sometimes, remember, transits bring us energy. And so when the transits come through, sometimes we get a spark of, okay, would be like with manifesting generator energy, for example. If you're really feeling it and it won't go away and it keeps bugging you and it's roaming around and around in your circle, experiment with it. When Rob first taught human design, he said, and I still stand by this today, it's an experiment. It's a living experiment to discover your truth. So try it, see what happens. It'll either work or it won't. And if it doesn't, you'll go, okay, you know what? Next time I'm going to do it different. And that experiential process of going, I tried this, it didn't work. Or I tried this and this did work. So the next time I have this experience, I'm going to try it again. I learned about responding as a manifesting generator by mistakes that I made not responding and mistakes that I made pushing when I didn't wait. And I had enough of those experiences over time in the beginning of my human design journey, like the first 2 years. Then the first 2 years, I bumped around so much and didn't trust my sacral and didn't trust my strategy and went straight into my mind. I have head and ajna with no connection to the throat. It's easy for me to get lost in my head, right? I went so deep into the not self that from my experience of that not self, I figured out my strategy. And it was really because in the 2 years after I met my design, I broke so much of my life by not listening to what my human design was telling me, that I, at a certain point, went, okay, you know what? I'm just going to follow my strategy because I don't know what else to do. And I had to kind of do all the wrong things to figure out the right thing. So try it. See what happens. I'll expect a full report on Thursday when we talk. So
we're going to have to pick up. We still have 102 questions.
all right. So I know that we're not going to get to all of them tonight because we only have 10 more minutes. So I do want to say before we go, I mean, I'm going to answer a couple more questions. I love this format, and I know that it's a lot of people, and I want you to know that I'm going to work on a way of figuring out how we can't, in 2 hours, we can't get to everybody's questions. And in 2 hours, Cindy's ready to shoot me because she's like, I want to go to bed now. You guys have been hanging on for a long time. I want to be mindful of everybody's time. I am really open to also hearing your ideas. If you guys can think about a way so that we can create a forum where more people can get their questions answered. I love doing this. If I could do just question answering all day long, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, I'd be happy as a pig in mud. And I'm still looking at finding ways so I can address as many questions as possible in the shortest amount of time. So if you got ideas, I'm open to hearing them. Thank you. All right, next one. Next question is tips on structure, content, direction regarding consistency while honoring my decision and authority. She's soulflame7@gmail. Marada. Do we have a Marada? Okay. So Marada, tips on structure, content, direction regarding. All right. So, the thing about you, Marada, is you're designed to be invited. You're a projector. So you need to be invited. So I would say for you, work on anything that brings you joy while you're waiting for the invitation. I talked about that a little bit earlier, and that totally applies to you. Give yourself permission to do all the things you need to do to set up your business while you're waiting. You have a lot of energy for setting up the infrastructure and for doing sales. So I would certainly say for you, here's a question. What do you want to transmit to people? You're here to give people direction. So think about what is it that you want to teach or transmit to people. And while you're waiting for the invitation, I want you to either write it out in a book or an ebook format or create videos around it so that you can teach people what they need to do to transmit truth and to change the story of who they are. So go ahead and do your writing now or make your videos and work on your website. And as a projector, particularly a projector with a Defined Will Center, you need to have an automated product that you can sell so that you've got something that can generate money coming in when you're resting. So think about what can you create to sell, what product, what information can you sell, what digital product can you create that you can use to generate revenue for yourself when you're in a cycle of resting. Stacy says, how do I decide where to start my business? I have a few ideas of who I want to serve and how I want to do it, but they all overlap, and it's hard for me to pick where to start so I can build a successful business. Should I focus only in one area, or can I combine things? You're a manifesting generator. You should be doing as much as you want to and combining a whole bunch of stuff. That's what I command you to do. Do not do one thing. You will go crazy doing one thing. So find the things that you love. Create a framework. So when I say create a framework, and this is good advice for all of you, think about what is the thing that you do consistently with all of your clients, no matter what modality you're using. It's many of you, if you're like my typical Lightworker clients, you probably have 35 different modalities that you've taken training in. So in the core, or the heart essence of every modality that you know, what are you doing to people? Meaning, are you helping them redefine their story so that they can create a different meaning and collapse a different quantum potential in their life? Are you helping them heal, release pain and trauma from the past? Do you have a belief that says, in this case for you, Stacy, I would say you're all about transformation by helping people change the stories that they tell about themselves and their relationships. You are here to give them revolutionary answers about how to use their mind as a creative and powerful tool, okay? what format what do you know in the whole toolbox that you have? What do you have that matches your framework? And then what I want you to think about doing, and this is your challenge, particularly you, Stacy. How can you take that core essence, that core message of what it is that you do and translate it into 5 areas? You ready? How can you help people make more money? How can you help people have better relationships? How can you help people have more physical health and vitality? How can you help people find more creative fulfillment and purpose and meaning in their life? And how can you help people connect more deeply with source? If you can create a product using that same framework and create something in those 5 key areas, you're golden. That allows you to have greater impact. That allows you to have many more niches. That allows you to synthesize everything that you know and do it in a way that keeps you from getting bored. Okay, so that's your big challenge. All right, last question, I think. All right.
And that's actually BMW.
Oh, yay!
So
We'll start where we.
So it's from Miriam. So.
Okay. Sometimes we cannot see our faults, and I was wondering what the shadow parts of me are that could be keeping me in this state of feeling confused, and or if you could help me to readjust how to better structure my day and what I am doing. Okay, you have the 61 in the conscious sun. You have one of the things that I want you to do, because you also have fantasy in your chart, and this is going to sound weird, but roll with me, Miriam. You need to make sure as part of the structure of your day that you have either a consistent process of meditation, and in addition to that, cycles in your week or in your daily life where you give yourself time to just think. You need to have time to think, because if you don't think, you get all jumbled up and confused, and you literally need time to think. Like, spend Saturday morning in bed just thinking, you know, and really allow yourself, give yourself time to think. One of the other things I'm going to suggest that you do is I want you to keep a journal. And I want you to do, this is a concept actually from Julia Cameron with The Artist's Way. I want you to keep a journal that's stream of consciousness. So every day at the beginning of your day, I want you to just get a blank, boring old notebook. It doesn't have to be beautiful. And I just want you to write the stuff that's on your mind, like 3 pages of, you know, I had cornflakes for breakfast. I hate it when my cornflakes get soggy. I really love my cornflakes crunchy, but my daughter loves cornflakes soggy. Why does she like cornflakes soggy? I hate cornflakes soggy. You know, whatever it is, just get it out of your head and on paper, okay? You need to keep your head clear, and some of that is just really recognizing that you need to think. You need time to think, and you need time to dump all that stuff out so you can get more stuff done. That's what I would tell you to do first and foremost. Secondly, you need, you need to have consistent downtime for thinking. That's really crucial. I lost the chart, so I don't know where it went. There was one more point I was going to make. Sorry, Cindy. And writing. You're a storyteller. I want you to engage your imagination more. I think the more you can go into your imagination and really use your imagination in a playful, wonder-filled way, don't lose your innocence. It's really easy when you have a chart like this to lose your innocence. Go back to playing in a wonder-filled kind of a way so that you can take the heaviness of your life out of your life and go back into that state of wonder. It'll help you get more into the flow of what you need to do and not get stuck so much in the I should be doing this, I should be doing that, because there's no should in you. It's all about being in the creative flow of wonder and innocence and storytelling. You're a storyteller. So, all right, good. Okay, so we made it.
I know a lot of people have posted in the Q&A, and so we had over 100, there were on and off over 100 people. And Karen is very generous with her time in answering questions, because, one thing that I think if you were listening to the answers to other people's questions, there was a lot of information in there that could probably help you with your own chart.
Yes, oftentimes, I mean, there's a lot of things that we share. There's a lot of energies that we share. And you know, I want to keep doing this on a regular basis. So we'll keep finding formats to keep doing this and sharing with you. I want to thank all of you for being here, for sending me your charts, for being willing to be vulnerable and share your questions with all of us, for being present on the webcast, for joining in this collaborative co-creation of this time, for your patience while Cindy and I learned this new format. We're still really kind of figuring out the whole webinar. This webinar platform is brand new to us. This is our first time doing this. And for being patient with us. I really appreciate it. Stay tuned, because we'll continue to find ways for us to participate and play. And if you didn't get your question answered, you know, just hang on. We'll have more opportunities to do that. And I'm very open and very conscious of the fact that people have questions, and I want to make sure you get your questions answered. So I promised you that I was going to just be here for you guys tonight. So this is my way of thanking you all for your loyalty, for your constant feedback and support. So thank you all very much for being here, for being you, for doing the work that you do in this world, for being who you are in this world. Blessings of prosperity to you. Cindy, thank you for all your work. None of this would happen without Cindy, so thank you all. Thanks, Cindy. Make sure we thank Cindy very much for being here. Get a good night's sleep. For those of you in the face of the storm in the East Coast of America, stay warm. Stay dry. Spring is coming, I think, so hang on. And good night, all of you.